So it is Saturday, which I'm going to look at my phone, 26th July. Yeah, because only got one functional phone which I can record and send a video to, on YouTube. I got an old iPhone, but it doesn't have the space for anything, But, so I'm using my Samsung phone. I'm always Samsung phone for everything, pretty much. So yeah, it's 26th July 2024, and most of you who do follow me on Instagram, and I've been trying to put myself out there on live since I'm trying to do for quite a long time in trying to promote my personal business brand, Pure Love Essence, lifestyle brand, life mission name that I have, which I had for a long time. When I mean like long, I mean like in the year 2000. In my came up in my late 20s, but I had to restart again because I was using my birth name, which I do not residence anymore. So yeah, which I preferred to go by Trinity. Okay, so anyway, so at the moment I'm in a in between situation where I had to that things are not going to work out with the housing charity that I'm under rent with. I can't exactly say because it's been a very difficult situation where I can't, like this day I'm in Oxfordshire County Council on charity housing, and I had assessment done about the state of my apartment, which I did show in Instagram. Those who go on Instagram, you can have a look when I mentioned a live video about it, and it's been very difficult for me, and because the spiritual and physical journey and mental emotional journey of being disabled is very, very hard, when you're mentally and physically got autism spectrum and the conflicts from the trauma of coping and supporting and adapting a world where it doesn't really support neurodivergent person, a soul that defers to certain things, right? So it's who sponge off a lot of things, and so just being present, it takes a lot. Just being present takes a lot, which so it's been hard for me where I've just been like just lying in my bed, just coughing out, or even waking up in the middle, choking and throwing up huge amount of thick mucus, and maybe food, but mainly it's just thick mucus. It's like comes off, and NHS doesn't know damn thing what's going on. And I have done the whole try to avoid certain foods, but as I said, it doesn't seem to really do much either. So and plus because of money and everything, I got some stuff I should be trying, but I just haven't. I've been just so stressed and stuff. I had to force myself to clean and organise my flat today, and my room too. Even my room, I know it doesn't seem much, but this is what I had to deal with, and deal with this, which is not much either, but it's better than what was reported from social services, which I got assessment done. They're still doing a little bit assessment, and then of course my bathroom, it's not completely seen because it's showered, but that's my struggles. Like every day it's like I'm struggled to do this, but yet I'm destined to have a partner, help community and everything, but yet it doesn't make sense, because of my life I was raised to be like, you know, she's never going to be anything kind of thing, you know. But yeah, I'm expected to take responsibility in looking after my family physically, because they had mental health, psychological, social issues, and religious belief system issues that was happening. And so you know, since I'm physically, you know, capable as a toddler, before my sister was born, I was like probably about 1 year old, you know. I can vaguely remember, because I was about 2 or 3 years old when I had my head injury. So yeah, it's been quite difficult though. Yeah, that's better. Even though I got a scab, shouldn't have done that. But yeah, just yeah, it's difficult, you know. And just, you know, I've been like thinking, you know, I'm planning to go outside this week, and I'm just like, okay, well, this Saturday to just get my scrub, even though I've got hardly any money left at the moment. I'm waiting for this bonus pay that I got compensation from care home, which is great. But the thing is that I did a mistake, because I wanted to go to a festival, and I always wanted to stay, and I just did a mistake. And so I ended up, because I was so believed in like the sign and everything, which I had a dream and everything, you know, which was a symbol like a rock star come and visit you in a new flat. And I was sleeping, I was awakened, I was like, remember sleeping on the brand new sofa that in my mind that was in a new flat, a better new flat, but a bit more spacious than the one I have, you know. It's much more organised, you know. And I was surprised by my favourite childhood rock stars, Song 41 and another band I don't remember, but somehow my mind was like, there was a leader that's also blonde. I don't know what, but who was that was, but similar to Song 41 and their fan girly ladies that befriend me, because that's probably always my desire, you know, dreams come true, things that I found so unreachable, you know. But yeah, I just hang out my sofa. He was supporting my dreams to come true of me doing my music and stuff, you know. When I was in a slum place, this was on Wednesday, I think it was, but not Wednesday, Thursday morning, Thursday or Friday morning, yeah, I was hours, and I was just like, you know, which at the moment I'm hoping I get compensation money with the thing, because I had to do it, you know, because I realised I couldn't afford to go stay in those festivals, because I haven't got enough money to do it, you know, where I always desired. So I had to like, okay, I have to put it, because you have to buy separate tickets, right? So I had to like basically put out the ticket on hold, and just get a day ticket, you know, for the whole weekend pass, which is going to be awesome. But I just, as I said, it's got obstacles, but I have to have faith that, you know, ideally it would be nice to stay somewhere. But the thing is, still at the moment, with the circumstances I am being expected to find my own funds in help of any form, it's kind of frustrating. You know, I'm still recovering from the argument of being shut down and talked down by social services. I even said, well, maybe put me a bit more adapted place, and it's like, no, you know, you got a good place, you got a nice apartment, you know, be grateful, whatever. And I was thinking, well, you know, respond that housing charity does not want to respond to me in my needs. They really don't. So if they can't, then Oxfordshire County, as I said, I'm in a similar crisis really than last year, for something that doesn't exactly fit, and say like, okay, well, okay, so you can't afford to get a PA. And I said, well, the only thing I really need help is just to keep my room and things. And said, well, you need a cleaner then. That'd be cheaper than getting a PA then. And but we're coming to reset you to sometime this week. And I was thinking, well, but I'm glad that I got surprised the next day, having called, is that that I got some compensation money from Pip from last year from walking out from a care group home. To them, they said care home, well actually it was a group home, care group home, which was very uncaring, let's say that. So so at least there, but as I said, it's just, as I said, I'm just like struggling, functioning, like, have I got enough money to actually get equipment to organize my apartment, to put things away, barely can afford to get clothing for myself. And when I do treat myself, like, oh yeah, I have done that, but the thing is, I've gone without certain things because of the fact that I can't do anything else. I don't do any activities. The only treats I have now is the odd day event, and that's it. And I'm not actually going anywhere out, freely out, in the world, out of my town. It's just basically just very restrictive spaces, and even that, it's like just going to Marks Spencer's to get some the latest summer food, picnic food and deli food, the sandwiches and the deli food selection. That was a treat, but I can't afford to do that, because I said with my disability, I find it difficult. But yeah, I have still some spiritual miracles, right? I have some miracles that I think, and yes, AI said to me that I had a specific day yesterday that possibly that I could meet my divine person around this time. But, I just had to let go and said, you know what? My true divine, celestial divine counterpart, he will find me. There might be a little voice or direction to say, hey, go out today, because you're going to meet your person, because sometimes there's like a little certain test or something, as I said, a surprise, even like readers like go, say they can't tell you something because it might spoil the situation, that it's been revealed, but they said, look, there are good things ahead for you, but I can't tell you. Because that's the rules of life, even though you feel certain things, and I experienced that in my life, see something wonderful, but I'm not allowed to tell that person. The only thing I can say, like, oh, just don't give up completely, but I'm just, I got pointed fingers last Saturday that I will go, that I'm in the right direction in trying to rent a room to set my own business, even though at the moment I'm with pause, because I just realised after having my deep heart healing sessions that I've been having since last year. It's almost like over almost a year now. I've been an anniversary of doing it, and I've just it's Dr. Marsha Heart Healing, I think. Anyway, let's go search heart healing. Anyway, so it's a meditation thing, therapy session, alternative, that helps with trauma and other stuff. What energy healing, and what's blocks in your life, you can channel and call on angels, guardians, whatever that comes through, right? So, and I just realized I had to go. I went the next day after I did my session, because it's always once on a Wednesday, that I had to look and my session, look for myself, like my email about unemployment, and I thought, I better check that email, because with my trauma and my disability, I sometimes don't see certain things because everything's way down, and I didn't sense that about this mental, and I'm thinking, when this mental thing, I can't find it, and then I have to apply for another website that was then saying, well, I was not shut down, and said, no, you need to apply for mentals, right? And I thought, it's not specifically for disabled people, but I can still get a mental, so I can successfully get through, all these obstacles, and not feel like I'm not making things worse and better. You get my saying, particularly seeing someone benefits and disabled, and a lot messy things going on. I don't have anybody that I can physically in this world that I can trust or support, particularly with support that I have from the charity housing rent. The support worker that I'm assigned with, she doesn't really want me to raise above from her. She wants me to be beneath her or be like her. The struggles, even the managers like that, like, oh, we want you to be beneath us or like us, struggling, not raised above us. You get my saying? And it's not in an arrogant way, but I mean like someone who actually overcomes, saying, I'm helping you to overcome, because that's what you do, even though that person may end up having a more higher life, physical, spiritual life than you do, but the thing is that that's your purpose, right? And that you will get tenfold back or 100,000 folds back in some way, even it may not always be what it seemed to be. You get my saying? But I just was very frustrated really at times, but I have to have faith in things like, okay, so I'm hoping that I get money back from selling because I did a mistake in getting a ticket which I can't use to stay in this festival, so now I have to pay back. Have to sell it through Ticketmaster, and hopefully I get money back. And apparently I won't probably have to wait until after, might be like the 4th of August maybe. And I'm hoping with faith, even though I didn't do an angel answer, which I got an app, you can get physical, angel answer card, and it said yes, apparently is a yes, because I said yes or no about would I get refund, would I get my ticket, my money ticket, so I'm hoping despite all the obstacles I have and mistakes I have, because I was holding on something, I have to be open in a different way, was going to this local festival that I want to go to, it's not exactly local, but it's like nearby in Oxfordshire, it's in Oxfordshire, right, county, and I have to go 3 or 4 times by taxi. Not fun, which does cost a lot, but going back and forth taxi, but at least it's better than nothing, right? And the fact that I will get money, but even then, that money conversation, I have to be very wise with the leftover money that I have, but at least I have some happiness, and hopefully something resolved between me and response, and that I get something better, because I remember I'm kind of lost, again with myself, with my disabilities, and I got abilities, but what I mean, it's not, I can't exactly do things myself completely. And it's just frustrating myself. I don't want to end up hating myself again. Because I don't meet criteria for everybody else wants me to be convenient for them, because they can't set me, so I end up hate myself. That's hard for me, very hard. Be kind about the delay that of not meeting my divine person, behind about the fact that I haven't got kids yet, or the fact that I haven't got pets that I would like to have, because and I can't have them at this time because the fact that I want to do other things and I can't do that, So it's like frustrating, and most of it's you know what I mean? It's just like, well, it's like, what real dreams do I have that I can come true, despite the prophecy from the Motor Collective who find us on YouTube was that 25 would be summer fun 25. And in some ways there is, the inner child of healing, and a bit like Hanson, I got a bit more rest than I did last summer, where I had to go find a place to live and everything. At the moment, it's just, I still got the stress, but and misunderstanding again, but I'm hoping those misunderstandings be clear, and that I do get justice and support and understanding, and finding a community of help and hoping getting funds of better funds, continuous funds, so I can so that I won't have to hate myself for being disabled, or limited in my, everybody's disabled by the way, but I'm just saying, in the awakening collective mindset, but I'm just saying for most people they don't see that, there's the lesser people who have no choice but to apply for unemployment and self-employment because they've got more obvious disabilities. Their disability is more of a disadvantage than what most people have, right? Because they can't fit in society, their disabilities can't fit in that society. The lesser people that society puts them, and it's really hard, but yeah, I'm still have some peace. It's crazy, even though I have been peace that okay, I put on extra pounds now, and because of my sofa I haven't been able to walk around so much, because the grief and the stress and trauma that I've been healing from, of that I've been forced to relive, and trying to get rid of these things, and how hidden health, unsolved hidden health conditions that's been very distressing, and not having the solid relationships that I so want in my life, and that solid relationship is divine partnership, romantic, not just the friends that support, but actually that companionship, that one person can actually understand you, and you don't have to explain a lot of things, and if they do, they force you to explain because they know that's going to be healing for you, even though they know about you, and reduce children and other partners, and help you fulfill that mission with them. So it's so easier, that's one thing I really want, as a 38-year-old coming to 39 in November 22nd, but I just, but I had to be okay with, with the art, with the self-employment situation, is that basically it's on hold because I need to have that mental to come through sometime next week, and in advice in open my own bank and registering, doing, so that there's not going to be any more difficulties on surface for me, because I want things to be come through easily for me, without having more problems, but but so I had to be okay with okay, this is not happening the way I want it right now. Yes, I found a local place that's supporting, but the thing is though, I can't do with that right now, so I have to wait for the other steps, even though I've been looking into my self-employment for a very long time, and things has not come through social media like or anything like that, because I don't hit that criteria, because I'm otherworldly being, and that's something I've been had to set my whole life. That I'm either like I'm of the earth but not of the earth. You get me saying, in between, and that's very difficult. But I have to find myself, like, there's miracles that happen not in the way that I wanted it, but about, like, oh yes, I did have some money, and yes, I did, that's going to come through sometime this week, and it's going to be fantastic, because it's going to ease that summer of be able to do something fun for myself, and hopefully, even though it's not a huge amount, but it's just enough that compensation money that I have is going to get me by a lot more easier, until I have, the rest of the end of this summer. It's just a lot more better for me in some ways, that I get that peace. In some ways, I think it's somewhat it's involved with my mother from the other side, since it's a birthday and everything, and I think it might be from her too, it's not just the higher beings that I prefer, but my ancestors. So it's like, well, she's still in that grieving process, because she hasn't got the physical hold of move on her life, that she's happy, solid, she has no family, she has no community, she's exiled it, after her mother died, it's even worse for her, she was never really belong anyway, but after her mother died, everything collapsed completely, and now she's like, that's it, really. Because nobody else can come through in her life, and it's not because of fault, because they're not just truly designed to be matched in life, and if they did, they couldn't go forward from beyond the veil of what they could see and feel or know, or open the chakras of life, right? So she's just an example of breaking, that she was meant to break branch eventually from that community, that family, but so for the other side, my ancestors, my mum's side of the family, probably done that, but I think it's a compensation from the spiritual world again, in coming for money from the other side, like through the system, right? Like, because I didn't get any inheritance from my mum, died, and there were some things that was left and I could pick from the house, but the thing is I was not really allowed to, and once I was asked, after being homeless for 3 months, the contact to pick up, because my dad wanted to sell the house that was almost born there and raised, but I was like, no, I can't deal with that. I've done so many work, but I don't need his mercy of discrimination and trying to destroy my life again, which is so funny actually, because my Dr. Marsha, this lady who does heart healing, she did channel my dad, and my dad was still very angry as a live being in his soul, physical and soul wise. He's still very not nice. That she even asked Andrew Michael to shut him up, move with presence, because the fact, this was like a healing session. Usually it comes from the past, but it was like current. There's a reason why I'm like physically cut away, and that my dad's moved somewhere else, even though he's living somewhere I want to live, in up north, but fortunately I just have to just make the most of what fulfilling other things that I couldn't fulfill myself, in my home's birth town. Maybe there's something more to it that I don't know, even though my heart and soul is somewhere else. But at least I'm fulfilling some dreams that I want, like going to this festival that I wanted to go to. But unfortunately, it's not exactly as I wanted it, but at least it's better than nothing, right? And it's most likely I'm be back here in this apartment unless there's someone who's I meet someone and say, hey, I got a spare thing, do you want, upgrade? It's like, yes, something magical surprise, but that could happen because people say it's in the movies. No, that's not true. Do you know how you read books and movies? It was based on people's spiritual, actual physical experience, unbelievable things. Base. Maybe it's not the way that people, make it more neat and than messy, but you know what I'm saying? Just, let me honest, film wise and book wise, book wise probably make it more messy, but you know what I mean? Just in real life, your own lens, there's things like giving birth very messy, finding true love very messy and bloody and gory. Purity is bloody and glory too. And sweaty and uncomfortable. And the body changes of seasons in your life, right? But yeah, I just basically, I'm gonna go out, even though I haven't completely clear out one thing. The only thing I'm doing is bring one of my rubbish bins out, and then but I have to remember, like, I had the miracles of giving the strength of doing this, even though I can't do this every day, because and I have to be compassionate. If people are going to be paying for me, or mentoring or coaching of inspiration, where people are going to be paid for me about disability and spirituality is perspective, is that the number one thing I say, is compassion with oneself and the people that you work with, or around with, or live with, associate with, who has disability. It's number one, compassion to yourself and to others around you. Or living with the disability. It's just the limitations that you have, which is mainly disability, right? That you have, and it's just fight, even though things are not exactly results that you want. But yeah, anyway, I have worries about money right now, even though I got money coming through. But I mean, just saying, the less money that I got left because of a mistake I had, doing of my current money that I always have, and then I got another money coming in, compensation money, which is great, but I have to wait until even then. I have to try and avoid overdraft, and at the moment I'm just like guided. My image was like to wear a pink dress, and I'm thinking, what pink dress I got two. I'm thinking, no, I meant this one, even though this one's dry cleaning, right? And I am concerned about, because I haven't actually got this clean, right? This is not hand wash or anything. This is like the only thing I've been putting, this basically is put in the rack, sponge, you got your cloth cleaning wipes, and then when you go out with this, so that dress that I spoke myself from this local designer, Viz, her name or something is, Viz Design or something, that's from outside Reading, but it's an Abington craft thing anyway. So anyway, I'm just going to go and have that miracle today, going to Oxford City to get my body salt scrub, that's really helpful for my skin, because it's salt, and it's supposed to spiritual practice as well, but but my body just needs that, that's after having a breakout, that was that salt, was it called Ren sea salt spray, right? This stuff, Ren, this stuff, that, you see, Ren, and it's scrub, and it still wet. See this? That stuff is great for my face. Even though now I got this soap, clay soap. I use that because it's very classic vintage stuff, but you know, but I mainly use Ren because I just find that's just, you know, as I said, it's got seaweed and salt. My skin likes that, you know. I also had a really bad breakout, and then when I didn't have the money, I just like thought this is the only thing that's really good for my skin, because I channeled and I was like, well, I'm going to use it even though it's quite expensive, but at least it's I don't need to lose a lot, but just little lumps. But as I said, I just haven't bought it for time, so now I have to go out today. I was meant to do it on Friday, but I thought, no, I need rest, and now I feel got a bit more healing energy. I was guided to wear this dress, and I'm just saying, you know what, more abundance gonna cover for me despite everything, all these uncertainties I have right now, because I don't have anybody, and the only little help I have is a scrutiny from a PA. Well, no, she's not exactly my PA really, you know. It's what they're selecting help and saying, well, you know, for started with, oh, you know, we help you clean and organise, and saying, well, actually we can't do the bathroom, and then saying tidy, and you tell, and they're saying, oh, it's your attitude, my problem. Like, look, this is pass the parcel of issues that they know we want. And I was like, well, you took me in, you know, I have to just like keep, you know, try not to let the society think of me to talk me in being locked in being, you know, where I don't have freedom to interact with other people and all that stuff, because I'm capable of a lot of things, but I do know that I do get tired and overwhelmed, that I can't take all the responsibility, you know. But I just know I just have to have faith, and miracles will happen, you know, and that, yeah, you know, it's going to, that things a bit held back with how I wanted things, you know, of my goals of by now, you know, with that I would start making money with my business in counselling and mental and disability, and I have funds that I'll be on Instagram Live, which downside is Instagram is going to go becoming like TikTok. We have to have 1,000 viewers apparently, which I think is very unfair, really, because they're trying to block people to freely reign. Those who, like me, who are the real change makers, the truth makers, the way showers, they kind of don't, they want to keep things shallow, you know, but I have to like be open and guided that to do find ways, and if I meant to be break a line for over a million followers, then it will happen at my professional account, you know, that there be people who now want to hear the authentic truth, you know, not pretend glitter, right? But yeah, so this is my dress. But yeah, this is my dress, everyone. You see, I know, you know, it's pretty good, you know, it's off the shoulder and everything, you know, it was discount and cross and everything, you know, but I just had to like work miracles on this, you know, see the miracle that I was able to get up really early and just clean and organize and empty certain things that you know, overwhelmed, and I had no help, you know. Of course, you know, I don't know if it's going to fit with having an actual professional cleaner, because because I don't have a place where I put everything order, and which is kind of like a blur situation where I'm cross-wired, where okay, I do need someone who actually I can pay, have a bit extra funds. I do need a little bit of extra funds, but it's kind of hit and miss, and I'm just like thinking like I have to just keep asking Angel clarity, and that whoever Angel is gives clarity, understanding, like probably Angel going Gabriel or something, say, look, please clean up and cloud out this, or Angel Azil maybe, I don't know, the death of conflict and confusion that's in my life, that derailed me, that I'm not going anywhere else in my life, which I don't want. But yeah, I just have to have hope right now in the faith that I'm going to go out with this lovely dress, and I'm going to have faith in enjoying that, with my shoes, my white Tesco shoes, even though I prefer barefoot, but at the moment I haven't been able to go online and get some of my dream, just barefoot shoes, but I just been like, I just have to get through what I have to do, and be open and pray and saying, I give thanks for this abundance, and you guide me to inspiration in that, and bless me that be with people that could bless, that who